I believe we should create for ourselves. Now, it sounds like a selfish reason to create things, to do things for ourselves. But I believe when you are trying to create or make art or do anything, to do your best, you have to do it for yourself. And this very selfish reason is actually very selfless if you think about it. Because we do our best work, when we work for an audience of one. When we work to make a product that we love, or when we do something for our own approval, we put higher standards on it. And then this makes a better product or a better piece of art or, whatever it may be. And that turns out being selfless because it gives a better product, art, to the consumer or whoever it may be. And Morgan Housel reminded me of this in a podcast that he did with Andrew Huberman, because I used to know this, I used to believe this, and then I kind of forgot. And honestly, I started thinking too much about what people wanted to see in making videos, and I got away from making things that I want to see. Because when I started, it was strictly, just making videos I wish that I would want to watch, about ideas that I cared about things I found interesting. And then after a while, I got to a point where I felt like, oh, I've already kind of talked about that, or oh, I don't know if anyone would really care about that. Um, and then, as of late, I haven't been posting videos because one reason, actually, yeah, really, that's really the reason. I was gonna say one reason was because I started digging into topics that I wasn't very well versed in. So I didn't want to make videos on stuff that I didn't really understand too well and I was still trying to grapple with. But that's because I cared about what the audience may think. But you don't create your best work doing that, because knowing your audience turns into um, you know compromising very quick, and catering to your audience. And to make the best work, I don't think you can do that. You have to truly be yourself and let the creative, waters flow to truly do your best work and to truly create. And it's selfish, but it's really selfless because you're doing in service of making the best possible thing. And then you put it out there, so you're putting out the best possible thing. And I think this only can happen when you cater to an audience of one, and that being yourself. You make it beautiful for your own sake. You make it amazing and you do your best for your own sake. And you don't say, well, maybe people will take this the wrong way, or maybe they don't want to see that, because you don't really know. And but all you do know is what you like, what you love, and what you want to do. So just do that. And if it's interesting to you, if it's beautiful to you, it'll probably be beautiful and interesting to at least one other person or multiple other people. And it seems like this is the case with the best artists and the best creators and the people who make the biggest impact on, society or whatever. They're doing things that they love. They're doing things for, at least they started out working on projects that they love. They didn't, you know, it's a slippery slope, because a lot of people do also say that you need to, solve a problem, and you got to find a problem, and the problems are obviously problems that people are having. So you're kind of catering in that sense, but that's a different type of product and different type of creation. I'm talking about true, like, art, like true art. Like if an artist went out and asked people what they wanted to see in a painting, they would suppress their own creative abilities. Like imagine if Leonardo da Vinci did that, and he took advice from people who were way less skilled and way less talented than him, and he let them dictate what he would do. We wouldn't have the great paintings that Leonardo da Vinci did, or his great ideas in his notebooks, or his interesting lifestyle if he listened and followed the crowd. So to truly create things that truly help magnitudes of people, you need to do it for yourself. And this selfish reason is a selfless one, as I said, because if you like it, there's a good chance someone else will. And it's also really hard to create. It's you get really resentful about doing things that you love when you do it for other people and then they don't appreciate it. Say, like say in my case, I make a video for, a certain type of person or certain type of group of people, and then, they don't watch it, or they do watch it and then they tell me how they didn't like it. You'll be resentful. You're like, I did that for you. I thought you'd like it. But if you do it for yourself and they don't like it, and then you're like, well, I wish like it would have been cool if you got something out of it, but I really made it for me. I thought it was interesting. I found it cool. So that's really why I did it. And I was hoping you would, or not even hoping, but if you thought the same, that'd be cool. And if I helped you, that'd be cool. That'd be nice. But that wasn't my motivation for doing it. So it's a lot easier to deal with criticism, negative criticism, and things of that nature when you say, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. And I think that's when we create our best work, and that's when it's easiest to create, because we're not so worried about what other people will think. We're not so in our head about, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? We're just saying, I like this, I enjoy this, I'm gonna do it, and here you go. And I think that's how we truly create works of art or profound messages or whatever it may be. Any creative pursuit. Everything we do is a creative pursuit, I believe. And you'll do your best work when you want it to be beautiful in your own eyes, not in the eyes of others. You'll hold yourself to a higher standard, and you'll be more invested.